we sort of came out of with safety differently with the 3 foundation principles about people being a solution to harness, focusing on the present of positives rather than the absence of negatives, and about having ethical engagement rather than bureaucratic accountability. They're the 3 foundation stones. So we then said, well, how does that transaction into practice? And over working with many different organisations, we've come up with these 6 key tactics that you apply to your safety management process. And the first one, when you're looking at the work that's been done, make sure you're focusing on what matters. So this is a bit about, tackling into critical risk, and our safety systems have become overburdened with nonsense, in essence, and minor bureaucracy. So the thing is, if it's not focusing on what matters, get rid of it. And the second thing is about having a process where you put freedom within a framework. So that's a process of understanding. You want people to be able to make decisions within certain boundaries, given that they have a few and simple rules to work upon. And then they've got good decision support to help them to actually understand the decisions that they need to make in real time to control the circumstances working. So freedom within a framework is a really key process. The third principle is, the third tactic is, let's learn for success, right? So the whole idea is, let's understand how work is done. And when we go to actually understand that work, let's understand how we actually move and make work continually successful. So very much the whole Nagel principle. If you keep things working and succeeding, you don't need to worry about things failing, in essence. The fourth principle is you need to build engagement and trust. So you need to allow people to tell you stuff that you don't want to hear, and that's got to be welcomed. You've got to be able to hear the bad news and respond and encourage in it, rather than discipline it when you happen. But people want to share stuff with you, but they don't want to be castigated when they share the stuff that people don't really want to know. Fifth one is about having collaborative partnerships. So that's very much, that doesn't matter. It's between teams, it's between contractors, like between principal contractors and subcontractors, working with regulators. All those processes move out of the master-servant relationship and actually move into a process where you're trying to support each other to achieve your common goals. So have those collaborative partnerships. And lastly, just constantly integrate, improve and simplify the way that the system operates. So don't have 3 processes on procurement, one that sits in safety, one that sits in purchasing, and one sits within the finance team. Don't have different ways of doing discipline, and regulation. Don't have one method of, how you actually do the work method from a production point of view, and another one on how you do it from a safety point of view. Simplify the stuff and actually give people one source of truth in that process. So that's the practical approach when we say, if you take these ideas, if you use these as a lens, and we talk about them as using them as calibration tools. So anything that you're doing in the safety system is come back and calibrate it against those 6 tactics. How does that fit into the six tactics? Does it make sense?